Hello and welcome to my video on why I think Yukio's behaviour, attitude and thoughts on Ren throughout the entirety of the Blue Exorcist manga after Father Shiro Fujimoto's death is justified. Kind of. Part 3. So like discussed in the previous video, which consisted of me talking about mostly the Kyoto arc, as I said how much, in my own opinion, that this was the turning point in the manga / anime, and then touching on a little of the Illuminati arc, because really, that arc was there to show us Lucifer, have Izumo get rescued when kidnapped, and to kickstart Yukio's hunger more for knowledge about his Aizen family, and something I'm waiting to get animated in season 3. Here's hoping. And then discussed in the previous video where I basically discussed what happened in the Almuri arc and why that was important, ranging from Yukio putting himself in dangerous situations to nearly getting a contract with a demon for immortality basically, and shippers having a hard time. I have decided to look at the next arc for my evidence in this whole thing, which would be covering some of the Blue Knight investigation arc now, while the remaining side of that will be covered in the next couple of videos that I'll have on this, hopefully. Again, spoiler warning! As like stated in the previous videos, this one will have spoilers, especially ones that have predominantly to do with the manga. So I urge people who don't want those spoilers, or don't want anything spoiled as they're currently reading the manga now, or for future anime content that could be created, then get off this video now. If you're not one of these people, then you're free to continue. Well done. So to give some background about this arc, let's tackle the Blue Knight investigation arc. Here we go. This arc is basically talking about some of the events that led up to, and what happened before Rin and Yukio were born. So yeah, that's what this one is all about. Oh, and also about the whole thing on how Satan came into this world, as well as the Demon Kings did as well as giving some history on True Cross and the screwed up nature it used to be, and its ties that it has to the Illuminati. As you guys know, the Exorcist organization was what gave birth to the Illuminati, with all the clone testing and such being conducted underground where True Cross is, in a secret, forgotten exorcist place, somewhere that we later get told is called Asylum. Yeah, it was just dark. Anyway, moving on, we first start this Blue Knight investigation arc story 2 chapters in from volume 18. Starting off with Shura and Luin Light, someone who was introduced in volume 16 as an exorcist of the Angelic Legion under the command of Arthur A. Angel, and an Arc Knight in class. Catching up with what happened at Almuri, then goes to some, quote, friendly talk between Mephisto and Shura, to Rin and the gang going back to their dorms, to then Luin and Suguro beginning some investigating about the Blue Knight. Also gonna say here, I love how Shima here is both a double agent for the Illuminati and Knights of the True Cross, which by the way is the Exorcist organization, and how it's shown him to not care at times about the ones Shima sees as friends, but right now is defending Suguro here. Oh, and looks like Mephisto is up to some mischief, like usual. We get some catch up with Yukio in the hospital and how he's recovering, to then seeing some Rin and Shiemi time. Oh, and Rin being creepy, I guess. And we also see some bonding time with Shiemi and Izumo. Isn't that just nice? As well as seeing Izumo give Shiemi what is meant to be what I assume is shoujo manga, but kinda just looks like to me to be yaoi? Yeah, we're gonna go with yaoi. More fun that way. Then we see a Maimon has entered the frame because of Mephisto, as really it's always him stirring things up, and we see a standoff between a Maimon, Rin and Shiemi, which must have looked funny here to some people. Then leading on from that, we see Luin and Suguro have gone to the library, or the archives in True Cross, continuing their investigation, where they make a shocking discovery linking where Rin and Yukio were brought up at the monastery by Shiro, their adoptive father. And can I say, from how shocked Suguro looks to know that in this panel, as he should already know that and not seem, as shocked as he is, it's weird. Or maybe he's just shocked from what he's being, told, but who knows. But at least we get some fluff here seeing this. Oh. While there, Luin questions the monk and the new abbot stepping in currently for Shiro. While questioning, we see Luin become violent and nearly looks like he's going to kill one of the monks, before Suguro steps in and reminds Luin that they are human just like he is, snapping Luin out of his lustful killing spree, only to have one of them confess something about the Exorcist organization has kept secret with what happened in the past, and talking about elixirs in a place called Section 13. When the person who told Luin and Suguro that dies, prompting Luin to check the guy and discover a seal on the back of the guy's neck, which is a contract of Morineth, which he identifies rather quickly to be a contract of Morineth that was put there specifically by Death, kin to the Demon King of Time, or also known as Mephisto. After leaving the monastery, Lewin says how this is a good connection to the Illuminati, as Lewin says elixirs are potions for immortality which the Illuminati are currently researching for Lucifer. But we see Lewin says Section 13 is a complete mystery to him, which is where we're off to, which will be the thing they'll find out next. And what we'll find out next on this journey. Picking up from where we left off, we journey to volume 19, where it opens with everyone having lunch at school. Oh, look! Yukio's back, and still has his broken arm! Here we see that Yukio tells Rin the news of the monk that died at the monastery, from when Suguro and Lewin was there questioning the poor guys. But during this part, we see Suguro excuse himself and leave quickly, leaving everyone pretty much confused with why he did that, and Yukio looking curious. In other words, Yukio's BS detector be going off now. Then we cut to Lewin and Suguro disturbing Mephisto in the bath. Yeah, that hammed. And can I say, Mephisto kinda looks cute here with his pout and cheeks being squished by Lewin. It's here they learn of Section 13 and where it can be found. Or later on we find it out to be called Asylum. And during this time we see Rin and Yukio have returned to the monastery to have a funeral. Then they have some small talk with one another. And then Yukio, as he's doing some sleuthing around the monastery alone, finds out about Lewin having a visit and questioning them from eavesdropping on what the monks are currently saying behind a door, making him more curious about things now. As Yukio's face is pretty much saying that here, and with what's being said at that point pretty much also backs that up as well. We also see Shiemi and her mother talking about the upcoming Exorcist exam, with Shiemi's mother trying to talk her out of it. Plot. Moving on, we get some background information on Section 13, or Asylum as it's called, and even learn who Rin and Yukio's mother is, whom was Yuri Egan. While Suguro and Lewin search around Asylum and talk, getting some things out between them, they both come across Igor Neuhaus. You know, that one exorcist teacher who tried to kill Rin at the start and used his ghouls to attack the cram students? Yeah, him. Lewin, who seems interested in questioning Igor here, doesn't play ball and instead points Suguro and Lewin in the direction of where they're meant to go, which is where Suguro and Lewin head off to, and where we're heading off to as well. Once there, Suguro and Lewin discover Asylum was a, quote, orphanage, where children who had temp taints and blood relations to demons were raised as exorcists, only for Lewin to say that was the front Asylum put up to not look so bad. But if you ask me, it was bad already, to be really honest. Then Suguro and Lewin discover examination tables for childbirth, documents talking about experiments that happened on humans, or clones as we see, and then find many cloned bodies in cryogenic tubes that come alive once time there is disturbed, as Mephisto had stopped time altogether there preserving it. And then we watch as the bodies decompose rather quickly around Suguro and Lewin. Yeah, like I said, it's dark. After that, we see Mephisto giving Suguro and Lewin some background history on why that place existed in the first place. As that place was created due to the demon kings that inhabited bodies that were deteriorating due to their magic that they had. With the higher demon kings, such as Lucifer and Mephisto, who have higher magic being the most at risk, and Mephisto who suggested the idea of making a cloning facility to produce better bodies for the demon kings to inhabit, so Lucifer wouldn't take his wrath out on humanity at that point. While doing this, we see a Maiman was the first one to have a clone body replacement for him, and the first experiment that worked. Then they got round to getting one for Lucifer, and by that point they made the most powerful clone today at that point. However, instead of Lucifer getting that body, it was instead Satan who inhabited that one, resulting in Satan getting an ego. Then the Blue Night happened and nearly killed all those involved in it. Those who did not die that night entered into that contract of Morna. You know, that contract that monk died of when Lewin was questioning them. Yeah, that one. And Lucifer, who took that research at the time, formed the Illuminati, I'm guessing at that point, probably. After hearing that, Suguro and Lewin take a trip to the Vatican headquarters and relay what has been found out to Arthur, then go to meet up with Azazel, the King of Spirits, who is working with the Gregoria at the Vatican, also known as the Exorcist organization pretty much. And after that, we see Shiemi has finally made up her mind on things and quit to be an exorcist now, for some reason. Whatever reason her mother told her, and the others trying to convince her to stay, which doesn't work. Shocker. Then Shiemi insists that they throw a birthday party and celebrate Christmas together, which they all agree to, eventually. And Rin suddenly has a dark thought about Shiemi dying now. Lovely. So as they all get split up and put into teams, they go and search for things for this party, with pairings such as Izumo and Shima paired up to be Team Cake Finder, giving them some bonding time I guess, and to make shippers squee. Rin and Konakomuro are paired up as Team Food, and Yukio and Suguro are paired up as Team Decoration. With Yukio questioning Suguro on things, being sneaky as best as he can here, like usual. And now we see Suguro driving himself insane with the evidence they've collected for this investigation. Poor guy. And then we see Yukio trying to get out of this party with asking Shura to take his place. Typical. Only for her to say that she has plans that night, prompting Yukio to be sarcastic and ask if she has a date then, only for her to say she's marriage hunting, which catches Yukio right off guard. Aren't they just like, you know, the cutest? Then the party eventually happens, and as we see, everyone is pretty much busy at this point, doing what they must for the party. But it's here we get some panel time of Yukio and Suguro making decorations. Oh, I'm sorry. Suguro making decorations, and Yukio, you know, just being adorable doing it. Only for Yukio to give some background information, saying how he and Rin both are bad at making decorations. As Suguro questioned about Yukio's made decoration, thinking it was because of the broken arm. But it wasn't. Then we get a flashback panel to when Rin and Yukio were kids, with their adoptive father Shiro at Christmas time. Currently what is happening in the present time of the manga, and Yukio asking about their parents. Their real parents, of course, wanting to know about himself. You know, like normal people do. Now, instead of answering truthfully here, or saying a, you know, good convincing lie, Shiro instead responds with this. Yeah. And this keeps young Yukio curious and keep asking about the topic. But young Rin seems to pretty much tell young Yukio to shut up in a nice way, and that he couldn't care who their actual real parents were, and he didn't want to know. This of course confused young Yukio, making him question young Rin here, only to have a similar thought process happen in the current time, saying how he wants to know. And he truly does want to know about himself, his parents, origins, and past. He wants to know where he fits. Now I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap up there and continue in another video with this arc, as it's getting lengthy if I continue this video. Like always, if you found what I talked about to be of interest, then please like and subscribe and comment if you guys like, giving me some ideas on how to improve and what I should look into as a possibility and such. Thanks. See you next video. By the way guys, these little bits here in the manga with Mephisto are awesome and always a great laugh. His character is always done so well for these kind of things and I just love it.